for joining us. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oconee County Council. Today is November 13th, 6 p.m. As usual, we will begin with our public comment session. And first on the list is Sharon DeRitter.
Hello, I'm Heather Goss, and I'm with GHS with Memorial Hospital in a program called Access Health that works with uninsured adults who have low incomes and need help with access to health care, as well as other social support services. I'm just here to kind of kick off Sharon's comments. To kick off Sharon's comments, about a year ago, we were presented an opportunity through the South Carolina Office of Rural Health to apply for a program that they're calling Blueprint for Health Initiative. And Oconee County was selected out of 5 rural counties in the state of South Carolina to participate. And one of the reasons is because when you look at Oconee County data in terms of health outcomes and overall health, we look pretty good. But when you take a deeper dive and you look at more community levels, we have some real troublesome health disparities. So to say that there are some members of our community who don't have the same opportunities, who maybe lack education or lack transportation or lack other needs or have other needs that they need to have filled in order to be the healthiest that they can be. And so part of this initiative is to build a community coalition we're calling Healthy Oconee. We have brought together folks from across the county, and we are looking to grow a relatively new coalition. But there's 2 purposes. One is coalition building, to engage community members who have lived experience and to get them mobilized to work together to improve the health of the county. And then the second part of what we've been doing for the last 9 months in Healthy Oconee is working together to identify a community project that will be funded up to $25,000 from the South Carolina Office of Rural Health. And then the last part of it will be working together on a community vision for health for Oconee County. And so Sharon is going to share just a little bit about the 2 project ideas that our coalition has identified as what we would like to do here in Oconee County with this funding. And of course, we are looking to you as council members to support us and be as engaged as you can be to be a part of this, what we feel like is a pretty groundbreaking opportunity for our county. Bring it forward to you.
Okay, Sharon DeRitter, I'm a coalition member, and we have 6 of us present, just to showing our support, which is roughly about 30 members on the coalition. Real quickly, our goal is, we saw a gap where people do not know what we have in this county, tourism-wide, churches-wide, anything, and health care, anything like that. So what we'd like to do, one page I gave to you that single by itself shows you Greenville County and what they did. And they have Greenville County, part of it. We have United Way. They have 211, which is another opportunity that people can call in, 211 on their phone. Greenville Health System or Prisma, and then Furman University helped them get started. But what IMAP is, we're going to take Oconee County, and we're going to have it almost similar. Still not going loud enough? Oh, okay, sorry. Anyways, so what we're trying to do is we have a tourist, we have someone that's a resident, we have someone, you've called 911 and you don't know what you need. We're going to have this map, and what you can do is going to be phone friendly too, Josh, correct? It's going to be phone friendly, cell phone friendly. So they're going to look exactly the same. We'd like to have an app for it, but we don't have that funding for this year's funding. But what you're going to do is you would click on something. You would drill down to, I don't know, let's take the first one, children and parenting. You would click on that and drill down maybe 3 or 4 below it, and it would say children counseling. And you would click on that, and it would populate the screen with little icons where things would be. You can scope in, come back out, and maybe you're close to one, and then maybe you need bus transportation. So you would click on the transportation, and we would do the cat bus or something, and you could see where the route goes, and then you could, you know, build your little day that you need to go to the health center, you need to go to the dentist office, you need to ride the bus, the red line, and then, so this is what we're trying to do. So we're trying to build an IMAP for Oconee County. And what we're gonna do is present this to other city councils so we can get their support too, and some of the bigger companies too, so that their employees and people, and there'll be a marketing plan. We have some money in the grant that we're going to hopefully try to launch a beta version. But we're gonna try and launch a beta version. I don't know how many entities are gonna be included on the beta version, but then the full-blown one will be probably in May or June, a full-blown one, and maybe we'll have 5,000 entities on it at that time. We don't know. But if you'll go to Greenville County, you can see it better. Now, to help support this, and so people get to know about this IMAP, is that we're gonna have 2 types of poverty simulations. I don't know if you've ever been involved in a poverty simulation, but we're going to be asking elected officials, we're going to be asking some people in the community to be a part of this. And you're going to walk through the life and times of people that are in poverty, and it'll be different sets of tables and things like that. Maybe you have a single mom with 1 child, the next table has 2 people out of work with 4 kids. And it gives you a simulation of where they want to have to go to get something, i.e. the IMAP will come in to help with them to show them that they can click on something on their cell phone or on at a computer. Any questions? We're trying to do it quickly so you don't take our 4 minutes.
Sharon, your time's up, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. Ms. Melendez? You're done? Oh, okay, I thought you all wanted to speak. You can if you still have something to say. Anybody? Okay, you want to say a few?
I just want to clarify some of the things she was talking about. So the IMAP is essentially a community asset map. So we'll be looking at things such as community-based organizations, but we'll also be looking at parks. We'll be looking at walking trails, hiking trails. We'll be looking for schools. We'll be adding all of those things that make Oconee County what it is, but the resources that people need to know where they are. So as they search on the map, they're looking for a certain type of thing, where there's child development centers, and they can pull that up and they can see, okay, this one's closest to me or closest to my place of business. So maybe this is the better option for my family. And then looking forward into the future, I see this being a really helpful tool for you guys in county council and for local businesses and other organizations to look at that map and say, oh gosh, we have a big gap over here. Let's say in the Salem area, there's a real need for this service, but there's nothing there. So as we're looking at development, we're looking at growth, this gives us a really good opportunity to visualize where we have opportunities and be able to make Oconee County healthier, not just physically, but economically, mentally, socially. So there's a lot to be gained from this, and we just appreciate your time to share this with you.
Well, thank you. Anyone else from your group would like to say a few words? Mr. John Bickford, would you like to speak? Okay. Vanessa Earl? You good? Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Okay, so next, Mr. Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, and I don't represent any particular group. Well, it appears the sewer south project is getting overly politicized, like a good many other projects out in the pipe. Think about the Pioneer Water conflict. Think about the Salem water line and the opposition it received. Think about the recreation controversy in Oconee County and the town.
That microphone's not working. Can I bother you to use this one?
Don't have to start over to it.
No, sir. We are. I'll repeat it. Here we go. This one only reaches about this far.
Can we just
Just getting-
plug the cord into that?
Someone read his notes to him, and we'll dictate it from there.
I'll speak, man.
You've got more time, you've got more.
Hold it down.
It goes all the way over. There you go. You trying to put me in line, man.
No, no,
I'll
I'm trying to
remember
make
that.
sure, maybe we should go on the YouTube period.
I'm just kidding. Now then, where was I at? Okay. Let me just start over. The Sewer South project is becoming overly politicized, like several projects in the not too distant past. Think Pioneer Water, Salem Water Line, the ongoing wreck controversy in Oconee County. And all this is doing, in my personal opinion, is creating two groups in this county. And that's not good. It doesn't bode well for the future of this county. We're getting this county divided into a rural group and a municipal group. And that doesn't need to be. We need to cooperate instead of, antagonize each other. And like I said, this does not bode well for the future of Oconee County. I believe all five of you up there were elected, number one, to represent the people in your district. And Mr. Davis, I understand you got an awful big district, all the way from Chattooga River and Long Creek to I-85. Big geographical area. Bigger than anybody else up there. But after you represent your district, in my way of thinking, your second priority would be represent the common good of Oconee County, not just special interest groups. And I don't see that happening. Right now in this council, I think my personal opinion on it, we've got 3 members that represent the common good of Oconee County. We got 2 members that don't, that cater to special interest. Now, evidently Mr. Davis doesn't agree with me, and that's fine. He can speak later too. But the residents of Oconee County own this county, not the special interest groups. All this division that's been caused this county, the residents don't want that. It's caused by the people that's elected and the special interest group. And like I said, it's not helping this county at all. It's dividing it. I've been right in the middle of a good bit of it. The sooner that certain people understand this and accept it, the better off we're all going to be. And that's all I've got to say. Next. Done. You can't have it back. That's yours now.
No, that one is not working for some reason, so we can hear that one better, that's on there now. Whichever one we switched out.
Yes, there are. Mr. Barnett.
I'm Jerry Barnett.
Grab that mic down there, Jerry.
What, this one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Again, I'll start over. I'm Jerry Barnett. I live on the farm where I grew up. I told the planning director, plan all he wants, I've got my own plan. And the Constitution of this great nation that I'm sworn to protect and defend guarantees me that right to have my own plan. Now, Mr. Adams touched on it, and I'm going to touch on it. None of us here are brain dead. We have picked up on what's going on. We know who has sold their soul to special interest. And when you sell your soul, you have no soul. We know. We can smell what's cooking. And when it comes to the election, that primary election that's been called and by certain people as a landslide, gloating about a landslide. The correct term for what happened there is a coup de grace, a fake news coup de grace. Now, if you don't know what that is, look it up. And they've given a name to the three individuals that dare to represent the people that elected them to take a seat on this council. They dared to confront an overbearing administrator. They dared to make an effort to purge a bloated county payroster. And we saw, thank God, a house of cards kind of collapse on itself. The last one was Mr. Blackwell. Nobody left to prop him up, so he's on his way. Now, none of us are stupid. We saw what's going on. We saw it coming long before, and we know who was kind of propping all this up and who was working to make a change here in Oconee County on behalf of the people. The name that was given to these three individuals was stooges. In this great country, we need more stooges. Thank God for Oconee's three stooges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any council member comments?
Yes, ma'am. In our last council meeting, the council voted unanimous to transfer Sewer South Pump Station and the line to the Oconee Joint Regional Sewer Authority. It has been often the case lately, members of council wake up after the fact wanting to rescind their vote once they receive their marching orders. The newspaper, as they usually manipulate, responded insisting the transfer should be made to Seneca. After all, Seneca would take it over out of the kindness of their hearts and handle the expenses with no anticipated benefits. Do you people actually believe this? As usual, the newspaper came in behind the 8 ball, as this has been in negotiations for 9 months now. The Sewer Authority, in their bylaws, pledges to deliver sewer throughout Oconee County. Seneca simply wants to gain a foothold in this area, and no doubt revenue and impossible annexation are their motivations. Billing for sewer is customarily done by the utility providing water. In this area, it's Pioneer, not the city of Seneca. The Journal comment actually made the case for Pioneer to receive the sewer line. Pioneer has the collecting capability, has a workforce to maintain the lines and ready in the area of Fairplay. And on top of that, Pioneer was the big winner last year in this ill-conceived lawsuit. It is tiresome to deal with a newspaper that provides one-side misinformation the vast and majority of the time. They conveniently leave out what they don't want you to know. How many of you know the reasons why council voted to send out a cease and desist letter back in March? Probably too few of you. This letter has been the Freedom of Information Act, and now it is fair game for all the citizens of Oconee County. March the 3rd, 2018, Mr. Jerry Edwards, 125 Eagle Nest Drive, Seneca, South Carolina, 29678. It has been brought to the attention of Oconee County Council that you have been recently and continuously argue with and harass Oconee County Council member Wayne McCall in relation to economic incentives of Project Omega. Your action may be in violation of state law and may require more formal response from Oconee County in the event such actions do not end. This matter has been discussed by council, and by an affirmative vote of the majority council members, I have been authorized to direct and send this letter. Oconee County, therefore, requests that you immediately cease and desist any further actions of a similar nature directed at Mr. McCall or other members. Be advised that if you do not cease and desist, Oconee County may take more formal actions to address your behavior. Sincerely, Ella Kamick, Chair, Oconee County. Now this leaves many questions to be answered. Why was this vote 3-2 instead of being unanimous? Why was Mr. McCall not supported by the entire council? Is this the same Jerry Edwards that writes in Tell Willie? Is this the same Jerry Edwards that writes editorials like Thirst for Power, Volume 1, Volume 2? Did you read this cease and desist letter in the Seneca Journal? I don't think so. Who really wants power over the Oconee County Council? What was Jerry Edwards doing at McCall's welding shop that they had to come out and ask him to leave, and this gave them grounds to write this cease and desist letter? How bad did Mr. Jerry Edwards want to sell his building to you, the taxpayers of Oconee County? Did the Three Stooges block Jerry Edwards' Project Omega? How many more defeats has Jerry Edwards suffered at the hands of the Three Stooges? What does this tell you about the Three Stooges and Jerry Edwards? I heard someone say it was like taking candy from a baby. December the 5th, we voted in the Project Omega failed. And on December the 19th, the next meeting, Jerry Edwards contacted me to meet him around 2:30 that afternoon before the council meeting that night. As I was leaving, he pointed his finger in my face and said, "If you know what's good for you, when you leave here, you'll call Scott Mulder and tell him to put my building back on the agenda for tonight." I think this was a threat aimed at me to enrich himself at the expense of the Oconee County taxpayer. Jerry Edwards needed 3 votes to get this building passed. He misread me because he thought I was number 3. So since he couldn't get me, his next hope was Mr. McCall. And you see, that's where this letter came from and what I was saying about I thought I was threatened. Do you see a pattern? The South Carolina Code of Laws, Title 16, Chapter 3, Section 1040, is a law that protects public servants against threats. Why is this law not being enforced? All of us up here, we need to make sure that we're doing your business and be protected at this time. So this is all I have to say, and thank you for listening.
Any other council member comments?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
to answer the question posed, I would say that I do not feel that it is the county's position to enter into a potential harassment of a person. And if a person believes they're being harassed, they are free to contact law enforcement and make a complaint, just like any other citizen in this county. And that is why I voted against that, to make the record straight, because I don't feel that it's council's job to seek to intimidate someone or take up a council member's individual complaint about an individual in the community. So, you know, if the laws aren't being enforced, perhaps a criminal complaint should have been made.
Anybody else? All right, please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Mr. Root, please.
Pray with me if you'd like to. Father, let us just kind of compose in your peace at this point. On attitudes of gratitude, gratefulness for the blessing of being alive, being able to have relationships, being able to have freedom to meet like this. Humility to remember that you are our maker, that you sustain our lives, that we don't do it ourselves, and help us to get away from our self-interest, selfishness, and look toward our neighbor in doing this job tonight. Let that be the outcome of this meeting. Let it be your meeting, and I pray.
Thank you. Chief King, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? We have two sets of minutes that need to be approved. October 16th, regular minutes.
Motion to
Yes.
approve.
Second.
Any changes, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
October 16th, special minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Martin?
Hi, good afternoon. Administrative report for November the 13th, 2018. Tonight we have a presentation to council from Mr. Adam Chapman on the update to the comprehensive plan. We also have proclamation 2018-05 honoring Oconee County employees that were deployed to assist with Hurricane Florence, and proclamation 2806 proclaiming Agricultural Awareness Month. Second reading on the following: ordinance 2018-33 authorizing a fee in lieu of tax arrangements between on behalf of Project ECHO. The first reading of the following: ordinance 2018-34 authorizing the execution of a residential lease agreement between Oconee County and Kent Crooks located at 207 Crooks Road in Seneca. Ordinance 2018-35 amending Division 2, Article IV, Chapter 2 of Oconee County's Code of Ordinance by making clear the term limits do not apply to the Aeronautical Commission. We have the first and final reading on the following: Resolution 2018-15 authorizing the purchase agreement between Christy Lee Harvey and Oconee County to purchase approximately 14.2 acres located at 667 Rock Crusher Road, with all funds coming from the Rock Quarries Land Acquisition Fund. Action items tonight. We have a motion to rescind prior conditions, acceptance of roads located in Phase 1 of Shadowwood subdivision, and to restate conditional acceptance as they were modified. The purchase of 8 2019 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor SUVs for $239,616, and 2 Chevy Tahoes at a cost of $67,560. All this is for our sheriff's department, and all that was in their budget. In executive session tonight, we have the discussion regarding Economic Development's Project Aztec and Project POP. Received legal advice to discuss a contractual matter related to the lease of properties to be acquired adjacent to the airport. Received legal advice and discuss an employment matter related to the hiring of a county administrator. Received legal advice and discuss a contractual matter regarding the Sewer South transfer and the operational agreement between Oconee Joint Regional Sewer Authority. And with that, we'll be done.
Thank you.
And we have a vote on the county administrator, which I didn't have on mine, sorry. Yes, we don't want to forget that.
You've had enough.
No, I didn't say that. I just said we might want to give somebody else a shot.
Okay, Mr. Chapman, please.
Mr. Murphy. Okay. Evening, council, members of the public. Got a quick presentation here. Should anything be more than an hour, hour and a half, so we'll be quick there. All right, Katie, I think you'll be in charge of the slide. So we have the comprehensive plan. Sorry, my clicker's being a little. So the comprehensive plan has been funded by council and has been started. The process has been started. Quick rundown: the comprehensive plan is required by the state. It also forms the background of all of council's decision-making processes over the next 10 years. So that's the why we do it. It's also easier to build something once you have the instruction manual for it. So these are the required elements we're doing. Population, natural resources, these are all standard. However, we are adding an agricultural element, which I believe will be the first one in the state of South Carolina to acknowledge agriculture in the comprehensive plan as its own standalone element. Each element has several requirements, background information, goals, and how we get to those goals. This is a much longer presentation. I'm just trying to kind of roll through it. It is there for you all to read. We did this through Planning Commission 2 weeks ago. And how we get to these goals is that we reach out to the public. Outreach, outreach, outreach. That's what we're going to do. The last plan was made with quite a bit of outreach. The goal here is to have as many people, if every person in Oconee County would stop in and tell us what they want, that'd probably be the best case. So far we've met with 55 individuals, mostly for data gathering. That's just hard numbers, utilities, economic development, things of that nature. But I'd love to meet with more groups. So for instance, we have the Latino outreach community, the Oconee young business people, the student advisory board, which I think is really important, get the youth involved, as well as the farmer and rancher listening session that's happening this Thursday, which is a very important group that we have. It's an agriculture group, and we're going to be here Thursday night at 6:30. And the big thing is to get the public involved. So in order to do that, we have on the back wall there's 5 flip charts with 5 questions on them. There's a bunch of sticky notes on the table there, and when we break for executive session, or whenever we choose to break, if everybody who's here could grab a sticky note, read a question, put it up there, it's your introduction to the plan. It's how we're going to start getting everyone involved. And if you have a group that you feel that you could get me to, that'd be great. So for instance, if EMS has a group outside of county time, give me a call, I'll come to it. If there's any other groups here, such as real estate agents or agriculture or whoever else, give me a holler. I'd be happy to come visit your group. It's easier for one person to move to your group than get a bunch of people all together from outside a regularly scheduled meeting. So, yeah. So that's the, we can ad-lib this. We've done this without technology before. It's all about outreach. It's all about the public process. This is the game plan for the next 10 years. If you want to be involved, council, planning commission, myself, we're all here to be involved. A stack of my business cards are on the back table there, and please let me know what else we can do. Yes, sir.
The 15th of this month, they're having a meeting in Fair Play with the community, and they would like for y'all to be there, and they'd like to give you some input of what they're looking for.
Would this be the 15th of November? That's Thursday, sir?
Yep, this is coming Thursday.
So this coming Thursday, I am booked up here. We do have the agriculture, the farmer and rancher listening session, the second one. I believe Mr. Adams and I have spoke about that briefly. Unfortunately, I won't be able to, but I will try to find another staff member to go down there and be part of that meeting. Yes, sir.
What about the people that's doing that we hired? Are any of those people available to make this meeting?
Not this particular one, sir. We have a set budget, and I can have them come to it, although I think a couple days out is kind of a tight time frame for it. We are going to schedule a joint planning commission council meeting, hopefully, for January, February sometime, whenever it's convenient for y'all. And that's the thing. But all the meetings that happen kind of individually, myself or a member of the staff will attend. But I can attempt to find someone to go on Thursday night to you said it's a Fair Play group, is that Thursday?
It's a Fair Play group.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely work on it. And that's, Mr. Adams, that's one that you emailed me about? Yes, sir. So I'll get in touch with Mr. Adams, and I'll see what I can do about getting a member of the county there to go present, ask questions, do that. It's good that we have that representation, as Mr. Adams was saying, about rural and municipalities. Everyone needs to be involved.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Oh, I also just like to point out that our tax assessor, Kevin Robinson, has been amazingly involved with this, and he's gone above and beyond. Just think that it deserves to be pointed out that we have an excellent assessor.
Madam Chairman, Adam, I want to thank you for all that y'all are doing in the planning commission to get this going. I've heard some great things moving forward, and again, it's a requirement of something that we have to do, but appreciate all that y'all are doing and out to doing moving forward. So,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next on our agenda is Proclamation 2018-05, a proclamation honoring Oconee County personnel deployed to assist with Hurricane Florence. Whereas Hurricane Florence formed on August 31st, 2018 as a Category 4 major hurricane and dissipated on September 19th, 2018, causing severe damage in the Carolinas. And whereas on September 7th, 2018, the governor declared a state of emergency for South Carolina. And whereas on September 9th, 2018 and September 10th, 2018, South Carolina issued mandatory evacuation orders for some of the coastal areas. And whereas Hurricane Florence weakened to a tropical depression on September 16th, 2018, while continuing to drop heavy rain over South Carolina. And whereas team members from Oconee County were deployed to assist either as water rescue personnel in the PD region or as firefighters supporting Horry County. And whereas swift floodwater crews assigned to the Marion County area for the majority of the response, Oconee County crews were partnered with Anderson County to augment local first responders with a high water vehicle, boats, and specially trained personnel to rescue, evacuate citizens trapped by the fast rising waters. Crews lived in local firehouses and makeshift base camps and were dispatched to all calls for service along with local fire and EMS crews. Together, they were able to safely evacuate and transport large numbers of adults and children from their flooded homes to shelters. Whereas the crews assigned to the Horry County area were placed in stations to augment local resources. As the floodwaters continued to flow south towards the coastal areas, Horry and Georgetown counties were directly affected. In Horry, the county was split into essentially 5 islands by the floodwaters, requiring each of those areas to be able to function independently. Our teams were placed into fire stations to provide manpower, not only to handle emergencies, but to allow the local volunteer and career firefighters to be away from the station to care for their families and homes. Whereas Timothy Owens, Dwayne Pay, Scott Smith, Shane Gibbs, Scott Long, Jim Corey, Stephen Adams, Tommy Christopher, Dan Picott, Casey Wood, Clint Livingston, Todd Sanders, Nick Santangelo, Amber Alban, John Irwin, Eric Spragus, Leslie Spragus, James Ashton, Doug Kalmbach, Travis Collins, Justin Pelfrey, and Michael Schrader are commended for their dedication and commitment in assisting nearby counties. And I'm really sorry if I mispronounced any of your last names. Therefore, we, the Oconee County Council, do hereby honor the men and women for their dedication and assistance in the aftermath of Hurricane Florence, approved and adopted this 13th day of November 2018.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you all very much for all you do every day. Need a vote? Aye. Please come forward. We've got an individual proclamation for each and every one of you. Guys, come on down. Join us, please. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Collins. And you will be getting a new one in the mail because I just noticed a typo in there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very much. Wow. Okay, we have another proclamation tonight, Proclamation 2018-06, Proclamation of Agricultural Awareness Month. Whereas agriculture is the oldest and physically largest industry in Oconee County, and whereas the latest census available, 2012, reported Oconee's agriculture ranked 10th in South Carolina in total value of agricultural products sold. And whereas through the marketing of farm products such as crops, livestock, timber, equipment, and services, agriculture generates approximately $302.5 million annually in total economic output for Oconee County. And whereas from 1995 to 2014, agriculture brought $1,221,000 to local farmers in the form of farming subsidies. And whereas agriculture encompasses approximately 68,000 acres, 106 square miles, composed of 884 farms in Oconee County, which ensures the care, conservation, and preservation of vast areas of green and open space. And whereas the conservation of this pasture, wood, and cropland is a major contributing factor to Oconee's natural beauty and attractiveness, hence our popularity as a tourist destination, as evidenced by a 41%, that's 17.9 million increase in visitor spending since 2006. And whereas agriculture and agricultural-related entities involve and/or employ approximately 568 people with a payroll of $2,347,000, plus 925 unpaid family members, And whereas agriculture affects either directly or indirectly all citizens of and visitors to Oconee County. Therefore, we, the Oconee County Council, do hereby formally recognize the significance, importance, and impact of Oconee's agricultural industry and her contributions to the health, welfare, and economy of Oconee County, the state of South Carolina, and the United States of America. In recognition of such, we declare November Agricultural Awareness Month in Oconee County, approved and adopted this 13th day of November.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is receiving this proclamation on behalf of the agricultural community? That would be Mr. Clinton.
I'm gonna stand and clap for y'all too, 'cause I know what y'all do every day. Thank you. I'm gonna shake Rex's hand. Yours over there.
Okay. We have no public hearings tonight or third readings, but we do have a second reading of 2018-33, an ordinance authorizing a fee in lieu of tax agreement on behalf of Project Echo.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. We have first reading of ordinance 2018-34, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a residential lease agreement between Oconee County as lessor and Ken Crooks as lessee.
Make a
Move.
motion.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor? Aye. Ordinance 2018-35, an ordinance to amend Division 2, Article 4, not IV. I had to chuckle when he said that, Article IV. Chapter 2 of the Oconee County Code of Ordinances by making clear that term limits do not apply to members of the County Aeronautics Commission.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
First and final reading of Resolution 2018-15, a resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of a purchase and sale agreement by and between Christy Lee Harvey as seller and Oconee County as purchaser. This is in regards to 14.2 acres near the rock crusher.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I may, could I have a motion to amend to allow for the revision of the purchase and sale agreement, which y'all will provide a copy of, to allow Ms. Harvey to have the occupant of the home that's on the property to remain there 90 days after closing. That was discussed between the rock quarry personnel, and it got lost in translation. We'll include in there safeguards for the county, but that was the understanding between Ms. Harvey and the quarry personnel.
Okay.
Motion to amend as stated.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Okay, so we're back to our resolution as amended. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, action item, motion to rescind prior conditional acceptance of roads located in Phase 1 of the Shadowwood subdivision and to restate conditional acceptance in modified form.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Action item 8, 2019 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor SUVs.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
The 2 Chevy Tahoes,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor? Or any discussion, rather? All in favor?
Aye.
Any unfinished business? Any new business? Okay, well then, we need a motion to recess to executive session. Number 1, to discuss economic development matter, Project Aztec. Number 2, to receive legal advice and discuss a contractual matter related to the lease of property to be acquired adjacent to the Oconee County Regional Airport. Number 3, to discuss another economic development matter, Project POP. 4, to receive legal advice and discuss employment matter related to hiring of county administrator. And 5, to receive legal advice and discuss a contractual matter regarding the Sewer South Transfer and Operation Agreement.
I'll make a motion to move in executive session, and I'd also like that motion to include Mr. John Elliott in executive session. Madam Chair?
Second.
Okay, we have, how about we do one at a time? The recess, we'll do Mr. Elliott first.
It was my motion. I said it was my motion.
Okay, so let's vote on having Elliott in executive session first, and then we'll vote on the recess. Is that okay?
You want me to change my motion?
Yeah, just separate them out.
All right. I'll make a motion to include Mr. John Elliott in executive session.
Second.
Okay, and that's just for the hiring of the county
And
administrator.
that's for 1 through 5, just as me and Mr. Hart were included in executive session after November election.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so shall we recess to executive session? All in favor?
Motion.
Oh, you'll make a motion.
Yeah, make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No action was taken in executive session.
Yes, Madam Chair, the one motion that I know we need relates to item 5 on the executive session agenda items. This is in relation to the sewer authority and the transfer of the sewer south system. I need a motion to have a meeting between representatives of the county council, 2 members. Y'all can include those 2 members in the motion. And representatives of the sewer authority along with a member of the legislative delegation to discuss the transfer of the sewer system and the build-out of the sewer system.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
During the discussion, y'all would need to state who those 2 members would be.
I'll attend.
I will.
Okay. All in favor? Was that,
That's the only one I have, yes, ma'am.
okay, that's right, okay. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.